Hey, everybody, welcome to an edition of Driving with Dave. I'm Dave. This is my office. Welcome. I'm going to talk a little bit about free speech. I'm going to talk about the responsibilities that you have with your right of free speech. I'm going to talk a little bit about what you can't do. So, first thing I'm going to start off with is this premise. There is no such thing as a legal offense of hate speech. I can't say there's no such thing as hate speech, because if I said I hate you, that's hate speech, okay? But can I be charged with a crime for saying I hate you? No. So a legal basis of hate speech does not exist. There's no such thing as hate speech. And that's what people mean when they say there's no such thing as hate speech. There's no legal premise for charging someone with a crime of hate speech. Inciting violence with words. This one, you legal leftists, let me tell you something. I've listened to what is legally viable as inciting violence through words. And there's a little thing in there that can kill that whole theory, especially when you look at Trump's words incite violence and incite hate, and he's racist and all that stuff. Okay. If I said something that triggered someone to do something, if I were to say something right here, right now, then if someone jumped up and did it immediately, there might be some grounds for actually charging someone with inciting a violent act. But if it took them 24 hours to decide to put what I said into action, now we're saying, you know what? Here's the deal. There was time for someone else to say something to oppose what I said. Most of the time, these people sit there and talk about, well, this person said this. And they get a conversation going with someone. If someone else says, well, that's not a good thing to do, guess what? You can't charge me with inciting violence, because that person actually had a conversation with someone and there was time for someone else to inject other words, opposing words. Okay, so now you're looking at someone who had, this side of the balance and that side of the balance, and got to make a decision. Now, people make a decision whether or not to act on words or not all the time. It's just the question is, were my words propelling someone to act? And the big tell on whether I can be legally charged with inciting someone to act is how long it took for the listener to enact my words. Okay. Free speech. I have the right to say whatever I want to say. Period. I have the authority as a living individual, not as an American, but as a living being, as a thinking person. I have the authority to say whatever I want to say. That authority is indifferent to any of the opinions or feelings of any listener. Okay? You have the same authority. You can tell me how much white people suck, how much white males, old gray-haired white males suck. Well, that's your opinion, because there's no factual evidence. It is your opinion. Okay? You can say it all you want. And I know my opinion is that old white men don't suck. Some of them are a-holes, but I can't say in general all old white men suck. And so it doesn't hurt my feelings if you tell me I suck. I'm probably going to tell you, you know what? As a Christian, I can tell you, you know what? I'm a sinner. I know that in a lot of areas I fail. In a lot of areas, I may not be the exemplary Christian that somehow all of a sudden a lot of anti-theists and anti-Christian, experts there are on exactly how I should be as a Christian. I find that kind of funny. But hey, they can say what they want. I know, I know the truth, and so, it doesn't matter. But people can say whatever they want. Now, hello Google, Facebook, YouTube, you either are a publisher or you're not. Now, what a lot of people might not understand is say, oh, well, they're a private company. They can choose, to do what they want. If you've listened, if you've really paid attention to the facts that don't care about your feelings, if you listen to the facts, Twitter, Google, Facebook, I can't cite for you the exact title, but they have certain protections by the government because they are supposed to be guardians of free speech, which they're gaining some benefit, okay, from the government. And so because they are doing it, they are supposed to be ensuring free speech. That doesn't mean that they're the arbiters of what is hate speech and what is not. Threats against individuals should be taken seriously. And to be honest, I'm not sure that Google and Facebook and others, Twitter, are trustworthy enough for me to accept that they are the arbiters. I think that there should be another disconnected group that are the arbiters. Individuals that don't gain anything by what any of the social media publish or allow to be published. Technically, if I write something and post it to Google on any of the Google platforms, Twitter platform, Facebook, on any of the social, if I write something and post it, I'm the publisher. They're just a framework. Because if they are the publisher, they can choose what gets published. You send an article to New York Times, they can choose whether or not to put it on there. Okay, so by these protections that these social media platforms have, by government title, government benefit, they cannot be a publisher. So, as a non-publisher, they are simply a framework. They are a platform. I get to use it. It's a platform I use. YouTube right now. I'm recording this on YouTube. It's a platform I use. I am going to publish this video. They've given me the tool. I'm going to publish this video. But free speech means I have the authority to dissent any other view. And I have the authority to express my dissent regardless of whether you like it or not. It simply doesn't matter if you like my dissenting view. Now, with every authority comes responsibility. I have the authority to speak whatever I want to speak. Now, libel, if you say something about someone knowing it is not true, and you publish that, then you're in trouble. Okay? Now, in my list of individual natural rights, I have two that are intertwined. Okay? You have the authority to speak the truth. Okay? That directly correlates to one of the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not give or bear false witness against your neighbor.
2 miles ahead,
right?
Take left exit 217B to I-270 East.
So, the second authority, which is directly correlated to a responsibility of being able to speak whatever's on your mind, you have the authority to know the truth. Okay, think about this. Think about it. For some of you, you want to call somebody a liar. You need to think first before you say that. What you need to discover, one, is that person telling the truth? Two, before you accuse that person of lying, you know what? If I really think that because the moon is out, that it's nighttime, even it might be 12 noon, but I see the moon in the sky. And in my mind, I might believe that because the moon is out, it's nighttime. Matter of fact, I see the moon out and it's straight up. I'm going to say, you know what? It's midnight. I don't care if the sun is out. It's midnight.
1 mile ahead, take left exit 217B.
I believe that to be true. I'm not a liar. I am simply misinformed. I may be uneducated. I may be, but once I'm informed of the truth, it is then up to me to understand truth from lie. I then have to re-educate my mind to believe what is actually true. So that the next time I see the moon straight up, it's never straight up overhead, I guess. It's straight up overhead, whatever. Straight up overhead, even though the sun is out, well, it's midday, not midnight.
0.3 miles ahead,
Right.
take left exit 217B, I 270 east.
So, before you want to call somebody a liar, somebody can only be a liar if they know the truth
Take
and
left exit
tell
217B, I
something
270 east.
opposite of that, or in opposition to that, to other people. Another example of that, if my watch happens to be 2 or 3 minutes slow, and I tell you the time based on my watch, I'm not lying. Do you know what time it is? Well, okay. Now, if my watch said it was noon and I said, oh, it's 11:55, come on, who's a liar? Okay? So, do we get that? So, free speech
6 miles
is
ahead,
wrapped
take
up
left ramp
in
570
two
east.
authorities. The authority to tell the truth and the authority to know the truth. That's it. It doesn't have anything to do with what you feel about facts. Okay? Facts are facts, and they didn't ask you what the temperature was before it became a fact. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm only true when it's, 10 degrees outside. If that's too cold for you, I'll change. Truth. Best question ever. Ever. What is truth? There are several answers to that, none of which are wrong. There are a lot of wrong answers. But there are several answers that you can either give based on laws that we know, not man's laws, based on laws that we know. There are spiritual answers to that. There's just theological answers to that. John 14:6, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. Here's the truth for you. If you can get past in the beginning God, if you can accept that as a foundation, the foundation of authority, because in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, is said without remorse, is said unapologetically, is said authoritatively, and without it. It's even said without assumption. It's just a fact. In the beginning, God. Okay? You have to determine whether, you need to determine whether it's true. And you can look at observable evidence. Now, not all of it, but certainly, again, we didn't have anybody back there on the day that, God did something. Because what day was man created according to the Bible? Day 6. So there was 5 days before that. There was timeless eternity before that. We don't know. Time didn't exist until light appeared. When did light appear? That's the beginning. Science will agree time cannot exist without light. We measure time with light. Based on the position of the sun, we have a time. Time is not relative. We're relative to time. There's only one time. One timeline. But the truth is the basis for clear communication. I can say whatever I want to say, but I only have the authority to say what's true. It is incumbent upon the listener to determine what I say is true. That means you need to be an active listener. You need to listen to what the person says. If you have conflicting information, it's time to do some research. Never take anyone at their word just because they have a PhD, an MD. I mean, obviously, if a doctor says your spleen is about to explode, or your appendix is about to explode, we can take it out. Well, you're running a fever, you know the symptoms, your side is aching, okay, well, I guess you're right. It's tender over here, I guess you need to cut that sucker out. But, there's common sense, and then, there's people we're supposed to be able to trust to know what they're talking about. I trust very little that comes out of a politician's mouth, and I trust very little that comes out of any so-called journalist's mouth or their pen, because most of it nowadays is more of an opinion than fact. Opinions have little to no requirement of being based on anything true. I think there's a fire over there. That doesn't look right. Doesn't look normal. I see a factory over there, but I don't think it's supposed to be burning like that. Commerce City, by the way, that's where I'm at. Anyway, so that's free speech. Words, if you're offended by words, so much so that you think that person needs to be silenced by some policy or by some platform, you are a fascist. Plain and simple. And I'm going to tell you to take a flying leap. Why? Because I can. Because you are trying to silence my authority. You're trying to restrict or inhibit my individual authority of free speech. If I'm calling you a bigot and I don't even know you, then I'm wrong. If you take my words out of context and call me a bigot because you think I'm a bigot anyway and you want to just take some of my words and make me sound like a bigot, you're wrong.
2 miles ahead, take left ramp to I-70 east.
You can actually think I'm a bigot, believe I'm a bigot, call me a bigot. I can tell you you're wrong, I'm not a bigot. But you know what? How many times do I have to say, I'm not a bigot, I'm not a bigot? Somehow, you can say I'm a bigot, me, and everybody wants to perpetuate what you say. I say, well, then I got to go tell everybody I'm not a bigot. Where's your proof? And just because a sector of people, a section of people, get stereotyped does not necessarily mean that the person accepting or using the stereotype is a bigot. So, some of you progressives out there, liberals, you are fascists. You don't want to hear dissenting views. You don't think dissenting views
1 mile
should
ahead, take
exist.
left ramp to I-70 east.
Therefore, you know, you lefties, you progressive ideologues, insist that we be deplatformed, that we be removed from the public square because, oh no, we're going to cause people to have to think. We're going to make people have to listen to something else that makes sense, that opposes your, idea that, all cows should be exterminated because they fart. I think it's pretty silly. I think it's pretty silly to force me to have to contribute to a bunch of programs that I think enforce behavior of expecting entitlements. I think it's silly to have the idea that
0.3 miles
we
ahead,
should
take
have
left ramp to I-70 east.
No border security. That, oh sure, just come into America. You know what? It's not even America anymore. We're just we're the landmass between Canada and Mexico and whatever. Get rid of states, get rid of cities. We're just one big happy landmass. You know what? I'm a Texan. And I will be a Texan. If progressives are going to insist that
take left ramp to I-70 east.
borders be removed, you know what? Texas will still be Texas. Y'all can do whatever y'all want to do in y'all's landmass. They get the hell out of Texas. Sorry. Don't like it, leave. I mean, who else said that? And it has nothing to do with the color of your skin. If you don't like it, leave. That's the beauty of the United States. At least if you don't like people are leaving California. Why? They don't like the high taxes. There's various reasons they're leaving. High taxes is why we left. We lived there 6 years. Beautiful, beautiful weather. Oh my gosh. But you know what? It wasn't worth the taxes. It's not worth the taxes. So, you don't like it? Leave. That's what we did. I moved back to Texas. No state income tax. Just one of the benefits. So, you know, you don't like what the United States has to offer? There's 170 some odd other countries you can go choose to live in, and one of them will have exactly what you're looking for. If you want socialism, there's already countries out there that are socialist countries. You're free to go there. You want that single-payer healthcare system? There's a few of those countries. My free speech has nothing to do with the color of your skin. You have the authority to say whatever you want. To speak the truth and to know the truth. And if Brian Stelter wants to tell you a lie and you want to believe it, well, he's wrong for telling you a lie. 2, you're wrong for perpetuating it. You need to determine whether or not it's true. That's the way it works. You don't have to like it.
82.7 miles ahead,
Like I
take
said.
exit 363 to US 40 East.
Facts don't care about your feelings. Facts. DNA free since forever. So there you go. There's a little trip through free speech. Like it or leave it. Like it or love it. Love it or leave it. All right. Y'all have a good one. God bless.